Hello everyone, welcome to Hiram Does a Thing. Today the thing that we're going to be doing is replacing the boot on my 2004 Saturn Ion. So I got this part from Amazon. Let's see if I can grab it here. And it's a replacement shifter boot for this car because the one on it right now, the stock shifter boot, looks kind of gross and it's falling apart. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it just to make the interior look nicer, and yeah, to avoid getting flakes everywhere because it's really starting to get messy. So first, let me show you this really quick. This is what it looks like. You see, I think it looks pretty nice, and it feels like a good quality material. The stitches don't look too bad. Yeah. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out how to modify this to fit on to this center console right here. Because this, as you can see, it doesn't have any plastic part that clips into place down here, which is what you're going to see on this one in just a second. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and remove the shifter knob. So in order to do that, you actually have to take the boot cover right here and twist it counterclockwise. Then you can pull it down and it's disconnected from your shifter knob. And then with the shifter knob, it requires quite a bit of force, but you can get it off. Give me a second. Okay, so I did have to put the camera down to remove that, but that just shows you that it does require a bit of force. I had to use both of my hands, kind of wiggle it, turn it back and forth, and eventually it came off. After that, your shifter knob, you can just set it down. We're not going to be looking at it for the rest of this video. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come up front, and you're going to pull this back this way as far as it'll go, and then you're going to pull up. And then this part is just held in by a couple of tabs. So you'll pull forward, and then you can remove it. And that's what it looks like without. Here's the old shifter boot cover. And you can see it has a plastic piece around. There's the tabs in the back. And then there's the triangular clips that go into the front of it. It's already crap getting all over. So we're gonna take this inside and see what we need to do in order to get this to work. Okay, there's a little bit more background noise because there's fans running, so hopefully you can still hear me. But now that we're inside, we're gonna go ahead and look at this old shifter boot, see what we have to do with it. And this plastic piece right here, yeah, it looks like the boot cover is connected to the plastic via staples. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those. I think we'll just use a knife to go ahead and pry those out. If you don't have a knife, that's fine. If you have a staple remover, then I think it would actually work better than this. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can remove all these staples, and we'll be back after that. Alright, now you can set that old boot cover aside. Actually, we're going to need one more piece from it here in a second, but I just wanted to show you what the plastic piece looks like really quick after we get all these staples off to the side. Make sure you throw those away. You don't want those hanging around for you to stab yourself later. But anyways, yeah, this is what the plastic piece looks like And we'll go ahead and move on to this plastic piece. Now, unfortunately, on the new shifter boot cover, this piece does not fit onto the shifter knob, and it doesn't have the right mechanism to twist on, like I showed you guys earlier. So we're gonna have to figure out how to remove this piece and remove this piece and put this one onto the new boot cover. So I think what we'll do is we'll turn it inside out. That should probably get us somewhere closer to how this is actually put on. And right here, this looks like part of a zip tie, maybe. So I think what we need to do is figure out how to cut that. Same here on, let me show you guys. Here on the new boot cover, we also have a zip tie holding it on. So we'll go ahead and cut that zip tie. Try our best not to damage the new boot cover. You don't have to care so much about the old one because we're going to be throwing that away anyways. But yeah, definitely the new one you want to be careful. Old one, don't care as much. So we'll go ahead. I think this thing has scissors or clippers, whatever you want to call them. Scissor, okay. Yeah, we'll see if we can get under there. This is going to be hard. Don't cut yourself. That was a close one. But yeah, you want to get under there. And it looks like we cut it. So let's go ahead and remove it. Oh yeah, and you're going to have to get some new zip ties to replace the ones that you cut. Here's what that plastic piece looks like. It's going to be very important for later. We'll be a little more careful with this one because this is our new one. I gotta stop repeating myself. It's really bad. But yeah, we're gonna be so careful. Cut that. Take out that silver piece. Just like that. Ta-da! Now, let's go get a new zip tie and figure out how to put this on. I just went and got a new zip tie. So we'll set that aside for now. We're gonna use that later. And let me show you how to put this together. So we're gonna keep the new boot inside out. Make sure it's inside out. And then while it's inside out, we're gonna go ahead and fit this in there. So just do your best to kinda try and open it up, fit this in there. It's a little bit flexible, so go ahead and try and get it over that lip. Go nice and steady, you don't want to damage it. And I think you want a little bit of overlap, so try to bring it up as far as it'll go so that you can have as much material as you can being clamped onto this plastic piece. Okay, I mean, I tried my best to get it a little bit over the big part, but you know, it's just too small to fit over it, so you know, that's fine as long as we have enough material that it won't slip off while we're driving. So before you put the zip tie on, you want to make sure that the threaded parts are aligned with these notches. See these notches right here? You want to actually turn it so that it's aligned with them, so that way it'll align once we put it onto the knob. So yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and put this zip tie on. Make sure you have it as tight as possible. Not that it would be catastrophic, but we don't want it to fall off. We just want it to look nice without any problems. We can turn it right side out again, and we can go ahead and figure out how to put it onto the base. should be pretty simple, but we do have to do a couple of things before we go ahead and install this. First, we're going to see where we need to trim it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and fit this in here, match up the corners, and we're going to put it in there as even as we can until it's a little bit snug, not super snug, but just snug enough that we can kind of see where it would fit best. Alright, sorry, I had to move my work somewhere else. Once you get this plastic piece into your boot the way that you want it, you're going to use your scissors, and you really got to make sure it's where you want it, where you actually want it. Because right now we're going to use our scissors and cut off the excess. And so we'll go ahead and in order to mark where we want to cut, we're going to carefully take our scissors up to where the bottom of the plastic is, and we're going to cut all the way. No, I don't think I got it. Let's try that again. There we go. And that should mark how far up we want it. And we're going to do that just for all four sides, just so that we can keep it consistent. This side. And then here's the other side. Flip it around carefully. There we go. And then once you have that done, you can take it back out and we'll start cutting away on each side. We're not going to cut this, because if you cut this, then it's going to start unthreading. I think there's something down here that's keeping the thread in place, so we'll go ahead and avoid cutting these, and we'll just cut off the excess here on each side, so 4 times. Okay, maybe there's a few inaccuracies that we should touch up later, but for the most part, it should be to where you want it in order to align it with the plastic piece for the next part we're going to be doing. And what I figured out is that it's hard to get staples in there. The truth is I just can't find the staple gun, and regular staples are just not strong enough for this. So we're going to do something a little bit unique to get this fixed onto the plastic piece. We're going to use needle and thread. So from the original staples, there are holes that we can poke the needle through. So we'll use these holes and then poke through this fabric to get it fixed onto here. So yeah, I'll just do a quick time lapse of that. It should be pretty straightforward and simple. Just do your best to get it aligned properly. Phone ran out of storage right in the middle of that time lapse, so unfortunately you weren't able to see the full stitching process, but I mean it should be pretty straightforward. You just use the holes from the original staples that were in here. I would use nylon thread around this, but yeah, it looks like it's staying on there pretty well. What we need to do now is we need to make cutouts for, if you remember, the tabs on each end. So we'll go ahead and we'll just use the scissors to kind of just be careful and cut out to expose the tabs without cutting the string. Sorry guys, I took another time lapse. That was an accident. That was my bad. I did not mean for this to be a time lapse. But once you get those tabs exposed, you're all set to install it into the car. And it's just reverse of what we did at the beginning of the video. You put the thinner, this is like the shorter end. As you can see from a top view, this end is smaller than that end. Put the tabs in first, and you kind of have to push everything in, make sure nothing's hanging out, and then clip it in. And then you put the shifter knob back on, bring this up. I'll actually show you right now. So just like we did at the beginning of the video, you turn it counterclockwise to take it off. And then to put it back on, you just bring it up all the way, and then turn it clockwise. So yeah, there we go. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you liked the video, if you liked my new method of mounting the fabric onto the plastic base, and I'll see you guys in the next video.